Mount St. Vincent University is located in Mi'kma'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of Mi'kmaq people. We pay respect to the knowledge embedded in the Aboriginal custodian of this land and to the elders past, present, and future.
Professional studies graduates, you did it. You successfully completed university during a global pandemic. Let the magnitude of this exceptional accomplishment sink in for a moment. Congratulations. No doubt your past few years, and especially the past 14 months, have been filled with challenges, triumphs, and self-discovery. My hope for you is that years from now, you'll look back on this time and remember what got you through it. Your tenacity, your resilience, and the support and kindness of others. The entire Mount St. Vincent University community is so proud of you for achieving this major milestone. And as you embark on the next phase of your journey, I encourage you not to leave this phase too far behind. You've joined a proud network of Mount alumni around the world that is tens of thousands of people strong. Enrich them with your talents. Serve as mentors to future generations of Mount students and alumni. And remain connected to your classmates, to your friends, to your Mount St. Vincent University. Once again, my warmest congratulations. Our valedictorian will now deliver their address.
I wish you could all be in this auditorium with me, closer than 6 feet apart. This pandemic has been hard on each of us in our own unique way, and I think every university student should feel proud that they have been able to get through even one class during this time. So congratulations, Spring 2021 class. Not many people get to say that they graduated university during a global pandemic. I have missed being on campus dearly during this time. However, I am sure none of us have missed fighting for a parking space or climbing the 90-degree Mount Hill that turns into a waterfall when it is raining. But I am so tired of talking about COVID-19, and I'm sure you all are too. So that is all I'm going to say about it. I just felt that I needed to address the fact that I am standing here alone instead of having you all here with me, even though I wish more than anything that you were here. When I told my partner that I was being given the honor of being valedictorian, I was so excited. He was excited for me, and he asked, "So what are you going to say?" I looked at him in horror as the realization washed over me that I had no idea what to say, and I had no idea how to write a valedictorian speech. He looked at me with bewilderment and said something along the lines of, "You probably should have expected that you were going to have to say something." The one piece of advice that he did give me, though, was to not make any jokes, because I am not funny. So, no jokes from me. Looking for ideas, I turned to Google, and most of the advice I got from there was to say something inspiring to my fellow peers. Unfortunately, I do little to instill inspiration. Other advice said that I should tell my peers something I learned during my university experience. This, I think I can talk about. There might be some prodigies watching this, but I think most people would agree that life is a series of failures. I would like to tell you about a couple of mine. My first major failure was not getting into fine art school following high school. I remember being absolutely devastated and thinking that my life was over, like a typical dramatic teenager. I found out that I didn't get accepted when I was on an art and photography trip. My high school photography teacher, Mr. Sharma, who was with me at the time, told me that he had originally wanted to be a lawyer, but he was not accepted. So he then decided that he wanted to be an art teacher, but the only teaching position that he was offered was for photography. He had no experience with photography, so he spent that summer teaching himself by shooting 2 rolls of film every day and reading every book that he could. In doing so, he became not only an amazing teacher, but also made a career as an incredibly talented concert photographer. His point was that often life doesn't follow the exact plan that we lay out, but things have a tendency of working out anyway. But since I was 18, I thought I knew everything, and I knew for a fact that my life was over. So I begrudgingly started a degree at UBC Okanagan because that was my only other option. Thank you, Dad, for forcing me to apply. There, I took a drawing class. Following an hour-long drawing session, my professor came over and scribbled on top of my drawing in an attempt to teach me something. My hot-headed 19-year-old self got so angry that I tore up the drawing and stormed out of the classroom. So clearly, not going to fine art school was a good thing for me. Following this, a failed relationship brought me to Halifax, which led me to my next major failure, which was my last degree in psychology. I was mostly interested in neuroscience. I was so excited for the lab where I would finally get to hold a human brain. But when I took it out of the bucket, I immediately fainted. So clearly, this was not the career path for me either. But this degree led me to an amazing job, working in a group home for adults with intellectual disabilities. It was during my time there that I became interested in the role food plays in mental and physical health. It was also during this time when I became vegan, and anyone in the nutrition department who knows me is now groaning because I managed to bring up veganism even in my valedictorian speech. But all of this led me to deciding to study nutrition at the Mount, which turned out to be the perfect fit for me. Had I gotten into fine art school, had my relationship been successful, had I continued in psychology and not taken that job, I would not be standing here today. Who would have known that my string of failures would lead me to find a second home in a very special school that I hadn't even heard of before moving here? I think one of the things that makes the Mount so special is the faculty. At the Mount, you are more than just a number. I would like to take a second to thank the professors who pushed me to work harder and opened doors for me by providing me with opportunities to further my learning. But in particular, I want to thank Dr. Beaudan Lujovi, Dr. Jennifer Brady, and Judy Fraser-Arsenault. 10 years later, with my prefrontal cortex being fully myelinated, thank you psychology degree, I am able to realize that Mr. Sharma was actually right. No, my life hasn't gone perfectly according to plan, and I am positive that there will be more failures in the future. But I am so grateful for each of my failures. I have learned that we gain something from each failure, and each failure brings us closer to where we should be. Before I leave you, I would like to take a moment to thank the people who got me here today. I want to thank my close friends inside and outside of the program, particularly Grace Anderson, who I have spent hours on video calls with over the last 2.5 semesters, and Rita Ferguson, who is more like my sister than my friend. Grace, thank you for patiently listening to me stress out over every single assignment and laughing with me until we cried out of sheer exhaustion and frustration. And Rita, thank you for constantly being my voice of reason. I also want to thank my family for their support, but particularly my mom, Rona Scott. Thank you for being my #1 cheerleader from 5,000 kilometers away, even during the numerous times I have felt like giving up. And finally, I want to thank my partner, Darcy McDade, who has seen me through 2 degrees and is about to see me through another. Thank you for the late night coffee and snack runs, encouraging me to keep going when all of my motivation was gone, and your unconditional support. I urge all of you to identify the people who have helped you get here today and sincerely thank them, even if that can only be through a virtual hug. These are the people who see us through our failures and are the ones who cheer the loudest when we succeed. So although it is our day to celebrate graduating, it is also a day for those special people to be celebrated. So congratulations, graduating class of spring 2021. Go out there and celebrate not only your successes, but also your failures. Thank you.
Thank you so much for those inspiring words. We will now announce our Student Award recipients.
It is my distinct pleasure to present the recipient of a student prize from the Faculty of Professional and Graduate Studies for the Spring 2021 graduating class, the Valedictorian Prize. The Valedictorian Prize provides all valedictorians with a lasting memento of their achievement and contribution to the graduating class. To be chosen valedictorian, the student must have maintained a strong academic record, must have been actively involved in a number of extracurricular activities, either on campus or in the community, and must have been nominated as a fitting spokesperson for the graduating class by their peers and/or the faculty. I am pleased to present the Valedictorian Award to Alexandra Bromley, Bachelor of Science Honors, Applied Human Nutrition. Alexandra Bromley is graduating with a Bachelor of Science Honors in Applied Human Nutrition. Alexandra has been incredibly involved and dedicated to the Department of Applied Human Nutrition since she arrived at the Mount. Alexandra has formed many lasting and meaningful relationships with her peers, faculty, and administrative staff in the Applied Human Nutrition Department. Alexandra's engagement in the department has included working as a research assistant in the nutrition labs for both Dr. Beaudan Lujovi and Dr. Jennifer Brady. Alexandra has worked as a marker for both Applied Human Nutrition Department and the Chemistry Department, while also supporting other Mount students as a Mount mentor in 2020. Away from the Mount, Alexandra has been a student coordinator of the Fairview Breakfast Program, and she is also a volunteer and videographer for Mission Delicious, a competition hosted by the Canadian Institute of Food Science and Technology. Congratulations, Alexandra.
Dr. Kim Keenapple, Dean of Professional and Graduate Studies, will now introduce our outstanding Spring 2021 Professional Studies graduates.
Welcome to the presentation of the Spring 2021 graduates in the Faculty of Professional Studies and Graduate Studies. The pandemic has limited what we can do to celebrate, but it does not change the value of the credential that you will receive today. In this graduating class, there are students who have completed their course requirements in online settings that did not look anything like an MSVU classroom. Yet they are able to master the content and acquire their skills in the same way as they did before the pandemic. It is a tribute to the determination and teaching ability of faculty and staff that made up for the difference. Years from now, you will look back on this time as unstable and worrisome, and perhaps wonder how you made it through this threat. Well, it was a combination of your strength, the support of parents and peers, dedicated faculty and staff, and a whole world moving together in search of a solution. Congratulations to all, and please stay safe. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Certificate in Accounting on Oliver Jan Bork, Catherine Elizabeth Garrigan, Natasha Elaine McLeod, Hannah McDonald, Karen Ann Mills, Meredith Christie Willows. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Certificate in Business Administration on Emily Margaret McGinnis, Ian Alexander McSween, Lori Ann Shalala. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Certificate in Marketing on Mashid Abagari, Laura Michaela Barrett, Adriana Ninoshika Meza Seminario. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Certificate in Nonprofit Leadership on Laura Michaela Barrett, Alicia Kathleen Compton, Michelle Farr. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Diploma in Business Administration on Kimberly Archibald, Shi Bai, Joseph Joshua Shervala, Shudeep Kaur Dhaliwal, Nimish Jain, Arsheen Kaur, Bhavneet Kaur, Fedas Khan, Amanda Dawn LeBlanc, Sarah Nazel, Ashka Mayanki Bai Pandi, Duta Sharma, Prableen Singh, Phonia Annika Smith Maduri, Rother Phelps Marcelo Hoy, Sanchita Vora, Bin Wang, Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Diploma in Tourism and Hospitality Management on Ruduth Armakan, Garima, Abhishek Malhotra, Karan Kuma Manish Karma Rana, Gaur Ashish Singh, Jaspreet Singh, Navander Singh. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study on Victoria Ballard, Rhea Shelley Dale Boudreau, Marcy Vanessa Kasler, Dwayne Shalyn Christie, Erica Kristen Clark, Grace Elizabeth Corbett, Emily Ann Daphne, Brooke Ellis Dimon, Kelsey Nicole Aaron Delaney, Sarah Berthilda Ann Doucette, Jillian Eisner, Wei Zhen Jen, Skylar Orion Hayes, Nora Irene Heyman, Nicole Banks Lawler, Jianji Lee, Holly Marie McDonnell, Laura Marie McDonnell, Elizabeth Agnes May McKenzie, Amon Malik, Kristen Ashley Margerson, Robert Avery McLean, Charlotte May Paul, Gabrielle Eileen Mitchell, Madeline Gail Mitchell, Sarah Nandenji, Shelby Elizabeth Roberts, Julie Elizabeth Rooney, Spencer Stewart Roy, Emily Catherine Saleh, Darian Lynn Scanlon, Emily Catherine Schultz, Emily Scott, Chanel Terea Tynes Stewart, Rochelle Tobin, Emily Aileen Walker, Yit Ting Wang, Zoe Serena Whitehead, Erin Lindsay Wright. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Child and Youth Study Honors on Cheryl Crocker, Oriana Page Mooney, Mandy Kelly Marlene Sperry. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration on Rujipa Tu Arun Vipa, Ama Aser Ajay, Kieran Atkinson Hardy, Hannah Barrett, Bernard Marcel Joseph Beauvais, Colin Richard Beckwith, Marissa Jane Beckwith, Alma Sefa Biko, Cora Marie Bell, Neha Bojawani, Dylan Bishop, Nicholas Blackmore, Nova Lynn Borden, Eric Edison Bonus, Carrie Ann Bonus, Sarah Mackenzie Brinning, Nicole Kathleen Bird, Heoyi Kai, Angel Deanne Cash, Lijun Chen, Logan Alexander Chasson, Matthew Brian Chisholm, Lindsay Cook, Joshua Tucker Korish, Andrew James Dart, Matthew Adam Douglas de Machant, Sujal Dugana, Evan Robert Bernard Donovan, Katie Downey, Kayla Duggan, Shining Fu, Emma Goldie, David Joseph Dunn Grandy, Kawame Harris, Charles Alexander Troy Harrison, Aryan Hashimi, Safran Zuhir Ali Hassan, Leanne Grace Brooks, Audrey Hillary Ka Yi Hu, Vanessa Eileen Eisner, Ugolina Leon Ituba, Penju Jiang, Joel Johnson, Keith Sanford Johnston, Eden Makone Kasaye, Ibo Corsa, Warren Scott Kusick, Bria Taylor Alexandra Lang, Janet Lang, Ron Lang, Alexander Robert David Leckie, Daria Lidenius, Chen Xing Li, Corey Long, Emily Louise Lunn, Rowan Lloyd MacArthur, Rebecca McDonald, Jerry Lynn McGilvery, Devin James Patrick McGregor, Hannah McIntosh, Isabel McLennan, Rachel McNeil Dixon, Kelly Dax Marshall, Hannah Grace Martell, Amber McBurney, Kwashiba McCallum, Joel Murray McCrossan, Julie Lynn McDermott, Siobhan Gabrielle McGee, Benjamin Andrew McKee, Christopher Brett McKenzie, Sarah McKenzie, Megan Diane Franklin, Brody Morrissey, Hannah Leigh Morrissey, Kayla Murray, Hanad Mohammed Noman, Keegan Sean Patrick O'Connell, Obram Palm Nana Poku Ofori Ata, Sophia Marie Oikel, Victoria Ose Coartan, Colinda Clarice Pelly, Melanie Lynn Pickup, Joshua Daniel Pimentel, Kendra Ray Carleen Petra, Samantha Pike, Raquel Francisca Raish Marsden, Sarah Violet Riel, Yang Hoon Ren, Caitlin Tiffany Richard, Zoe Rivera Nicholas, Carly Elizabeth Romkey, Tara Lynn Rutherham, Robin Ryan, Hanouf Saleh, Chantel Marie Sanford, Jonathan Burke Scribner, Alexander Clinton Shand, Amber Marie Sheaves, Kathleen Ann Smallman, Amanda Lynn Smith, Lori Ann Smith, Martin John Stephen, Robin Sutherland, Braden Darrell Swain, Albina Tarova, Jin Tang, Kyle J. Tinker, Cassandra Emma Larissa Todd, Tianyu Wang, Shichun Wei, Bingkan Chi, Yun Xianqi, Sten Diang, Zewen Vieng, Te Zhao, Haley Rebecca Zwicker. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Business Administration in association with Bermuda College on Carmelita Christine Angela Curtis, Lindell Charmaine Foster, Shayla Fox Simmons, Edward Kenneth Van Booten. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Public Relations, Cooperative Education route on Christopher Ethan Abbott, Mark David Arsenal, Laura Michaela Barrett, Danielle Stana Berlanger, Derek James Blanc, Chantal Marie Brewer, Emma Cassidy, Quinn Murphy Densmore, Jenny Margaret Dunn, Lachlan Ewald, Danielle Christine Flynn, Jennifer Marie Hodder, Carly Michelle Johnston, Rob Matthew Jollymore, Kyle Christopher LaRusick, Bonita Marie LeBlanc, Noah Ryan Scott McNaughton, Madison Virginia Malone, Jillian Marie Mason, Jessica Leanne Morash, Lynn Kathleen Morrison, Paula Elena Nabaru, Mylene Leah Pinay, Allison Irene Webb, Matthew Hayden Workman. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Science in Applied Human Nutrition on Ali Abidali, Zarah Jawa Al-Savari, Hiba Al-Youssef, Shelby Amiro, Heather Anderson, Alina Chen, Catherine Elizabeth Cox, Yuhan Ding, Aaron Dwyer, Rachel Lauren Everett, Alana Rose Farley, Rebecca Gravel, Kelsey Celeste Hoskin, Kelly Liu, Kaylin Grace Manning, Elisa Marie Miller, Adrian Musavi, Natalie Paris, Emma Faye Pelham, Victoria Rivers Bowerman, Julia Susan Short, Zengulu Tong, Elisa Ann Margaret Teed, Jessica Tremblay, Xiaohan Wang, Xin-Zhu Wang, Haley White, Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Science, Applied Human Nutrition Honors on Alexandra Elizabeth Bromley, Hui Wong. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Science, Science Communication on Hunter Alexandra Carr Dwyer, Marissa Hall, Danica Pascal LeBlanc, Marika Tori Erica Williams. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Bachelor of Tourism and Hospitality Management on Ruji Pa Tu Arun Vipa, Joylyn Baroga, Marissa Jane Beckwith, Stephanie Gabrielle Buckler, Elizabeth Grace Connell, Lauren Elizabeth Corkum, Emma Goldie, Jin Guo, Meijing Jiang, Davian Vantino Lees, Jing Ma, Shannon Nicole Paquette, Jin Rang Yu, Tianyu Wang, Yin Juan Yan, Haoyun Teresa Yu. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the Graduate Certificate in Health, Communication, and Aging on Hajarad de la Mola Samunu. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Master of Applied Human Nutrition on Ziyubai Zengyu Ka, Zien Lian Ka, Yang Fu, Amandeep Kaur Karlon, Ang Li, Shenji Li, Nan Lin, Jingye Liu, Chisholm Cynthia Obekwe, Shihij Reina, Yijing Shen, Jake Shi, Ajit Singh Sodhi, Rachel Ofa Funke Sonola, Lubov Sinyuk, Morgan Lori Adams, Kavya Yelyuru, Shishan Zai. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Master of Family Studies and Gerontology on Charlene Marie Howe, Alexandra Gail LeBlanc, Deborah Ann Legere, Justina Salji, Hajarad de la Mola Samunu. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Master of Public Relations on Allison Abel, Robin Patricia Cook Bondi, Brenna Elizabeth Hill, Cameron Hillier, Monica McLean, Daciel Deon Monteiro Martins, Yuju Ways, Dawn Denise O'Connor, Deborah Purvis, Madison Claire Tiller, Junki Yi, Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Master of Arts, Child and Youth Study on Jinhan Bu, Samantha Ryu, Denise Jaylene Verge. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Master of Arts in Communication on Cindy Lynn Bayers. Mount St. Vincent University has conferred the degree of Master of Science Applied Human Nutrition on Carolyn Anderson. Kathleen Laura Chan, Jaleesa Kathy Dawn Gallant, Samara Rose Ohm, Temalola Rachel Alowukir, Sephora Tariq Sayed. Please join me in congratulating the Professional Studies and Graduate Studies graduates in the Spring 2021 convocation.
Thank you, Dr. Keenapple, and congratulations once again to our Professional Studies graduates. We will now recognize our fantastic Faculty Award recipients.
Dr. Shannon Grant of the Department of Applied Human Nutrition is the recipient of the 2021 Early Career Teaching Award. Dr. Grant's practice as a teacher is distinguished by its innovation, dedication, and inclusivity. In her philosophy of teaching, she describes her use of person-focused education to inspire creativity, co-learning, and reconciliation. Her collaborative work with elders, peers, and learners, all as colleagues, is commendable. The use of experiential learning activities as applied within instruction and assessment activities is also noteworthy. Described by her students as a valid mentor and leader, she encourages self-directed learning while accommodating diverse learning styles. Students benefit from her ability to present complex material while maintaining their interest and enthusiasm for course content. Among the many commendations offered by her students, her commitment to providing extensive and meaningful feedback stands out. Students are grateful for the opportunity to learn from her. Dr. Grant is a reflexive and reflective teacher committed to the growth of her students. Congratulations on this well-deserved recognition, Dr. Grant.
It is my pleasure to present to you the 2021 winner of the Mount St. Vincent University Award for Research Excellence, Dr. Beaudan Lujovi, Associate Professor in the Department of Applied Human Nutrition. Originally from the Ukraine, Beaudan obtained both a Master of Science and PhD in biology, majoring in human and animal physiology from Lviv Ivan Franko National University. Following the completion of his doctoral studies, Dr. Lujovi worked as a lecturer and assistant professor at Ternopil State Technical University in Ternopil, Ukraine, before taking up a postdoctoral fellowship within the Division of Child Development, Rehabilitation Medicine, and Metabolic Diseases at the University of Pennsylvania. This was followed by a brief stint as an associate professor in the Department of Food Biotechnology and Chemistry at Ternopil State Technical University, and a 5-year term as a research associate in the Department of Nutritional Sciences at the University of Toronto. Dr. Lujovi joined the Mount as a faculty member in 2011. During his time at the Mount, Dr. Lujovi has been highly regarded as a teacher, having won the first ever President and Vice President's Advanced Career Teaching Award in 2017, and particularly as a researcher of the highest quality. Dr. Lujovi's work since joining the Mount has had two overarching themes. First, to lead the development of new functional foods, which are foods that rate highly on sensory measures, such as look and taste, and have high nutritional value. And second, to examine the effects of foods on blood glucose, appetite control, and energy intake. Dr. Lujovi's lab is unique in Nova Scotia as it combines food product development, nutritional research focused on prevention of obesity, diabetes, and other metabolic diseases, and knowledge translation to the food industry and local communities. Indeed, there is no other facility in Nova Scotia that combines both food product development and the capacity to explore the health benefits of foods through clinical trials. Over the past 9 years, Dr. Lujovi has secured over $1.3 million in external funding for his research program, including successful grants from multiple programs offered by the Natural Sciences and Engineering Research Council of Canada, as well as funding from provincial voucher programs and industry partners to conduct applied research related to food development. In Dr. Lujovi's food development research, he has primarily worked with small to medium-sized food industry partners to develop new products that are both appealing and healthy. The current and past projects completed by Dr. Lujovi on food product development and food clinical trials at MSVU include studies with locally produced blueberries, seaweeds, quail eggs and quail meat, stocks and broths, bakery products, gluten-free ingredients, dairy products, apples, vegetables, and vegetable pureed products, foods for vending machines, and the recipes for school breakfast programs that meet both national and provincial dietary guidelines. This work has helped the Nova Scotian agri-food, marine, and fishery industries develop new food products, include some unique products manufactured in the region, and reformulate existing products, starting from food formulation up to their nutritional evaluation. One particularly innovative project identified that the resulting particle size after preparing flours from pulses, such as chickpeas, beans, and lentils, affects the rate that carbohydrates in these flours are digested. This particular finding will inform the development of foods that may be beneficial to control blood glucose and has implications for understanding and treating health conditions such as obesity and diabetes. This also illustrates how food development and health are intrinsically linked in Dr. Lujovi's work. While Dr. Lujovi's research program certainly benefits our provincial agri-food, marine product, and fishery industries, his lab also provides a unique and exceptionally high-quality training environment for students and research staff. Trainees and staff can gain experience in a variety of research methodologies, from sensory evaluation to biochemical analysis, as well as entrepreneurial skills, while also providing learning opportunities for future dietitians. Over 30 students have been trained by Dr. Lujovi since his arrival at the Mount, including 15 undergraduate honor students and 16 master's students, while other trainees include a postdoctoral fellow, a research associate, and a virtual army of research assistants and laboratory technicians, including 9 summer students through the NSERC Undergraduate Student Research Award program. A respected research mentor, indeed all of his nominators commented on his mentorship and dedication to his students. Working with Dr. Lujovi has yielded both intangible and tangible benefits for those students who have come through his laboratory. As one of his nominators notes, Dr. Lujovi involves trainees in all aspects of the research process, including publishing. At the time of nomination, Dr. Lujovi was an author on 46 peer-reviewed published articles and book chapters, with an additional 55 conference presentations. Over the past 9 years, virtually every one of these publications has included his students as co-authors, with over 14 of his current and former students listed as first author on those published abstracts and articles. Dr. Lujovi has also involved students in his work in the community, including involving 40 applied human nutrition students every year in the Healthy School Breakfast Program as part of his work with the Breakfast Program Association of Fairview. While I have thus far emphasized the local and provincial aspects of his work, it bears mentioning that Dr. Lujovi is recognized both nationally and internationally for the excellence of his research program and the important implications of his work. He frequently collaborates with colleagues across Canada and indeed around the world. I noted that one of his recent publications from earlier this year included colleagues from the University of British Columbia, Laval University, Ryerson University, the University of Toronto, and Tufts University in Boston. As one of Dr. Lujovi's nominators notes, he's put Mount St. Vincent University on the national and international map as an institution providing leadership and research aimed at understanding food function as a determinant of human metabolic health. There are many other things I could say about Dr. Lujovi, from his leadership in food product development competitions such as Mission Impossible, to his kind and collaborative character, or even his delicious research on chocolate milk. But for now, let me say, Vitayu Beaudan. Congratulations, Dr. Lujovi, on receiving the 2021 Award for Research Excellence.
Graduates, today we thank you, we celebrate you, and we bid you a fond farewell, confident that your future will be enriched as a result of your time as a Mount student. We look forward to having you as a long-term member of the Mount family, as our alumni. Congratulations once again.